quote, the magic is gone. That is how one Trump advisor put it. In the upcoming issue of New York Magazine, Washington correspondent Olivia Nuzzi takes a deep dive look at former President Trump's, quote, quiet and lonely run for re-election. CNN has reported that allies are worried about Trump's slow start and the direction of his campaign. Nuzzi, for her part, interviews Trump. It is a fascinating read. She also talks to some of his closest aides. One advisor tells her, quote, he has retreated to the golf course and to Mar-a-Lago. His world has gotten much smaller. His world is so small. Close quote. Olivia Nuzzi joins us now. This is so riveting, but I want to start with the headline, because your headline on the piece is inside his sad, lonely, thirsty, broken, basically pretend run for re-election. But then it, in parentheses, which isn't to say he can't win. What did you learn?
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
Well, I think the sweep of history of the last 7 years or so, since Donald Trump was first running for the Republican nomination in 2015, proves that stranger things have happened and strange things may continue to happen, and it's important to always factor that in. And when I was working on this piece, I was going back and watching those primary debates, reading the coverage from that first period of that campaign, and it was sort of humbling to see just how wrong everybody was, just how wrong I was, just how wrong a lot of us were. And so I was trying to keep that in mind as I was assessing this campaign, which is not going well. I mean, the only thing that they've really done so far in this campaign is release an NFT collection, and Donald Trump had dinner with a white supremacist and Kanye West. So that's, by any standard, not going great.
I suspect the more, though, that we in the media talk about him and he hears this, he tends to be reactive. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to your piece, which was, girl, I don't know. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of comments about it. I want to read another quote from your piece that speaks to the sort of magic is gone idea. You say, quote, in this business, you can have it and have it so hot, and it can go overnight, and it's gone, and you can't get it back. I think we're just seeing it's gone. The magic is gone, according to an advisor. When you say the magic is gone, he's saying he's not going to be able to get it back. And he is right now the only person running as a Republican for the 2024 the presidency in 2024. What do you see that? How is that going to affect all the people who have stood by him?
Yeah, that was an advisor speaking to me saying that the magic is gone and that this person was not sure that Trump would be able to get it back. I think that's sort of the difficult thing about a campaign that is just really about a personality, right? Is that even if it were to be run in a really common sense way, it was really well run, would it really matter if the personality that the whole thing is built around, that the entire political movement is about, if that personality is not really on his game, if he's like lost his mojo in some way? I don't know. But I think that, Donald Trump, when he's cooped up, when he's got his wings clipped, historically is kind of a dangerous creature who's prone to listening to even crazier ideas than normal and doing even crazier things. I have one former White House official in this piece talking about before the insurrection, before he officially lost the campaign in 2020, already he had become this sort of terrifying figure who, in his COVID isolation in the White House, kind of locked away and kept from having contact with regular Americans or just with more normal people who might be around him in a busy place like the West Wing. He really had cracked and begun to lose his mind, and that this person began to move further and further away from him. But Sarah, in terms of what Trump might think about this piece, it's like an 8,000 or 9,000 word piece. I don't know that he's going to be sitting down to read it. I think he'll probably just look at the cover, look at the headline, and think, it's fake news, and move on from there.
First of all, he talks to you, so I mean, that is.
Well,
go ahead.
He loves attention,
Sure.
and women and magazines in that order. So I don't think it's all that surprising.
Wow.
Okay, you said it. I joked when I came in this morning to the team. I'm like, Olivia's piece was amazing. It took me like an hour to read. No, it really was great. But I just, before you go, I want to get to one thing, because you open up by talking about how for 28 days since he announced he has not left the state of Florida. And then he's like, I leave all the time. I go to Miami, but it's really to go to like Doral and golf, right?
Yeah.
So just talk about that and that this theme that runs through the piece of smallness, which is just antithetical to what he wants and how he perceives himself.
Yeah, I mean, in 2015, remember, he announced much closer to the actual nominating contests. But when he came down into the atrium of Trump Tower on that fabled escalator ride to hell, he then immediately left and got on Trump Force One, as he was calling his private plane, went to Iowa. The following day, he went to New Hampshire. And then shortly after that, he went down to the border with Rudy Giuliani. And so it was a very quick, very rapid, him just going directly onto the campaign trail and not really stopping until he won the election. And this time he invited people to his living room, and he hasn't left since. And the campaign is very obviously self-conscious because the candidate is self-conscious about this, and they're doing their best to claim that he's extraordinarily busy. They sent me this list of events. It was 11 events that he had allegedly taken part in since the announcement, including the announcement itself, including 5 video events that he was not actually physically at, including a bunch of things also at Mar-a-Lago. He just isn't all that busy, and the midterms are over, and I guess there's not a lot of justification for a MAGA rally at this point. And he is stuck there. He's at Mar-a-Lago and playing golf, and people are coming to see him. And I don't think that he really knows what to do with himself in this sort of lame duck period as the only candidate. He's running against himself.